morning. Been
that
doing that for
microphone is just
26
like
years.
right in your that microphone is like right in your face.
No, it's not.
It pretty much. Okay.
Where else is a microphone supposed to be?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah, speaking of 26, I went line dancing with Milo on Sunday, and we walk into the bar. Everyone there had to have been in high school. Everyone there. Like, they would walk in, and the bouncer put giant X's on their hands. Like, to the point where their entire top of their hand was black. Like, there was no way you were washing that off that night, let alone that week. It was insane. And obviously, I'm 26 years old, so I just walked in, and Milo goes to the bathroom, and the bouncer stops him, and he's like, "Did you sneak in here?" And Milo's like, "Yeah, I snuck in here to go to the bathroom. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You don't have a wristband." And he's like, "Well, I paid to get in here. They didn't give me a wristband. I don't know what to tell you." He's like, "Okay, you're gonna need to come with me." And Milo's like, "Okay, well, my girlfriend's over there. I need to go get her so that she doesn't think that I'm leaving." And so he comes over to me, and the guy's like, "I need to check your ID." I hand him my ID. He looks at it, is like bending it around, and is like, "We need to go to the front. We need to have someone scan this." And I was like, "Okay, so you don't believe that my age is 26, but my father's health insurance sure does. So let me tell you the forms that I received in the mail this year, because I would love to not be 26, sir." Yeah.
Did that keep you from going to the front desk?
No. He had rubber ducks glued to his hat. He was a weird guy. I don't know. He didn't think it was funny either, so.
Huh. That's a shame.
Yeah. So it looks like you're at home.
Yes, I'm at home. We got back. And our furnace was off.
Oh. That was probably fun to come home to with all the impending snow.
Yeah, it got to be rather chilly sleep. Actually, it was kind of nice sleeping at night, but waking up in the morning and getting out of bed to a mid 50s, low 50s house was a bit interesting.
Sounds like a igloo experience.
Now, just when we called the guy to come look at it, and I had screwed around and tried to figure it out, see if it was something easy. Turns out it was easy, but it was just a bigger thing. But had that guy come in well, the night before I was looking online on Amazon, because you can buy anything on Amazon, looking at the boards, and the boards were like $150 or something. And the guy came, and the heating guy came, and he goes up and looks, comes down. Yeah, I don't know why, but that board's just bad. It's gone. I don't understand what could have happened to made it go bad. And I said, well, how much? He goes, he gets a little phone out. About $1,200. I'm like, shit. I'm like, man, Amazon had it for $150. He goes, yep, that's what I do.
Well, at least he wasn't like, "I'm not going to help you if you order the board from Amazon."
Well, I mean, yeah. I said I pulled the board up on Amazon, and he goes, well, let me check the board now, make sure you're getting the right thing. And I go, if you have trouble, just call into the office and, call for me, and we'll come up. Probably just charge you another, a service call fee, $85 service call fee, and we'll see if anything's wrong.
Dang, the service call fee is almost as much as the board replacement.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not too bad about the guy showing up and giving you some ideas, but at the end of the day, that was I very slowly pulled the pins off and changed it. The only thing you had to rewire really was the thermostat wires that came in. That was actually a screw. You had done the screw and screwed. Everything else was just pulling it off a pin and sticking it right back on a pin. It was kind of amazing. Then the other thing that was interesting about the whole thing is it looked like Carrier makes the same board for everybody, whether it was Train or I don't know, whoever makes these things. It was all the same board. It was kind of interesting. Weird.
You would like to think that that's not the case, right? Like, I feel like that shouldn't.
Well, yeah, I agree. But also the other part is you wouldn't think the markup would be a billion %.
Right.
That was kind of ridiculous. If it was $500, I get it. The guy's doing it. paying for the service. They came out, something like that on the board. But yeah, it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. That's what makes me skeptical about most things anymore. Is like, if you can find a YouTube video for it, why do you need to pay somebody to do it that's a quote unquote expert? Like, if I'm gonna mess it up, I might as well try it. And if I mess it up, I'm gonna have to pay your egregious fee anyways.
Yes, and you might as well give it a whirl because you're probably not going to make it any worse.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I
That's how
agree.
I felt with fixing my car the other day when my check engine light came on. That ended up being not a very big issue. I was really concerned that that was the end of my car. It was literally just that one, like, cylinder thing that I had to drop in there. Fixed it.
What was it? It was the ignition coil, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the ignition coil. But it was literally just like you unscrew it, you pull it out, you take the new one, drop it in, you plug it in, and then you put the engine cover back on. That was it. And the part was less than $100. I don't know how much it would have cost if I took it to a shop, but probably like 300.
Well, not only that is you would not have found anybody to work on it for a
That's
week,
true. That's true.
probably.
It's probably longer than that because it was the holidays. And so everyone was probably going
True.
on vacation and doing stuff. And yeah.
We had the wheel sensor go out on the van on when we were coming back from Hot Springs the other week, and we were guessing at that. Went and bought the part for $175, and then went up to somebody that's worked on this stuff before, and it wasn't the right size. And he looks at the wires and goes, "Hell, they're just two wires. Some of these things got a little more complicated than that. We'll just splice it back together. It'll be good." I don't know.
That's the
Working fine now.
That's the thing, though. It's like if you understand electronics, you're set. I feel like the electronics thing is where it gets scary because electricity, you can electrocute yourself. Whereas if it's a mechanical failure, like that's something you can see that you're doing wrong. Like you're shoving a square peg into a round hole. Like that's not gonna work. Whereas
Not everybody sees that, Sarah.
it's easier to see than it is
All right. So
electricity.
your people, when you were on the ranch, all those people could have figured that out.
No, no,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
That's the point.
No.
You kind of grew up. You grew up in an engineering mindset household.
It baffles me.
Same like me. I mean, that's just how we were raised in the Cedars.
It's baffling to me that people just don't have problem solving skills. Like if you don't have the answer, if you're not given the answer, you don't want to try and find it out. You don't want to try and come up with a resolution to whatever's happening. It boggles my mind. I'm like, how do you sleep at night knowing that you didn't try to get to the bottom of whatever the problem that you were facing was? Like I and it's with trivial stuff that I don't get. I don't get.
But it's the same thing at work. People just do what they were told to do.
Oh yeah,
They don't
that's
ask a
not.
question about what they were told.
That's what Nico was saying when he got something. He rented a car or something or other, and he got charged for not returning the keys back. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I returned the keys. I put them in this box. And so he came by the place where he rented the car from, and he's like, I dropped the keys in this box, and I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's what I did. And they're like, we don't have the keys. It's not in this box. And then he's like, did you check like the area around where the box collects from the envelope opening? And they're like, no. And so they go back over there and they find him. It's just like, are you? I don't get it. I don't like people just are so one track minded, and not in need of an answer for anything or not in need of a resolution. Like if there's no like to some people there are just not answers to questions, and that's fine for them. And nope, nope.
Yeah. No, that was a Kia dealership.
It was.
Yeah, because I was with Nicholas. That was over here in South Carolina.
Yeah, bad.
Yep. 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 It was kind of comical.
I
Pitifully
just
comical.
it's like a skit. It reminds me. Have you ever seen Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
It reminds me of stuff that happens in there. Like, I am Larry David, like on a daily basis. I am Larry David, and I'm just watching people do things in life that are just not ordinary. That's not real. This isn't happening to me. You know?
Yeah. It shouldn't be that complicated.
No. No, but boy, do
Yes.
people love to make it complicated.
Yep. Yep.
But anyways, so you're back in South Carolina. What was your total mileage, stats, gas, whatever for the trip? Also, is that a Monsters Incorporated hat?
This?
Oh, it's a Rivian hat. Their their logo kind of looks like Monsters Inc. University.
I don't know. I'd have to look up a Monsters Inc. thing.
Or what? Oh no, it looks like the Despicable Me. Let me see. It looks like the Despicable Me. Despicable. I watched Despicable Me 4 and it was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But to answer
watched.
your.
What?
Go ahead.
I
Nope. Go.
watched it when I got back from skiing, and I was just expecting to like watch it while it was in the background while I fall asleep. And yeah, it looks like the Gru logo from Despicable Me, like in
It kind of does.
a quick glance. But I was expecting to just fall asleep while I was watching it. I was mesmerized the whole time, the whole hour and 30 minutes. I don't know what that says about me or my attention span or
I
what
don't know
gives
if I've
me
seen any of them.
serotonin. They're good. They're actually good.
Yeah. So the mileage in for 23 or 24 rather, the mileage is we did 29,000 miles,
And where were
and
this?
most of that happened after I retired in June or May, like leaving May 31st.
So what were the trip starts and ends?
What do you
Like
mean
what was
by
your
trip
start
start?
point and what was your end point? Like to get to all of that mileage.
I mean, I started in Simpsonville and ended in Simpsonville every time, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly you're asking.
I guess that's a good point.
I
But
mean, we had a couple of different trips. I mean, we had a bunch, uh, but I mean, just basically everything we did. We went to Indiana. We've been to the van place a few times getting things fixed, and then over into Pennsylvania to get to Gina's family's place, and then past David's and back. But the biggest thing was when we dropped off Nico's in Waco, Hannah in Waco, and then went west and out through California and up. And then when we just left you, we went back out to California. So, I mean,
what did you go
29,000
back out to
miles.
California for?
We went to Death Valley.
Oh yeah. Was that you didn't give any updates on that? Was that exciting at all?
Death Valley is neat. I could not imagine. Uh, we didn't take the picture. They've got a temperature, a thermometer, big temperature thing right outside, like a bank temperature
Yep.
thing right outside the door of the visitor center. And everybody always takes a picture because it always says like 120.
Oh.
It was 50
Oh.
when we were there. And I could not imagine being there except for right at the visitor center. There's a little like village with palm trees, and also other than that, there, there's no place to get out of the sun. That would be horrid.
Was it at all like
Horrid.
White Sands in New Mexico?
No, no. I mean, there's places that were sands like that, but no, it's just a valley, like a dried up riverbed.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, when you
So what
walk
do you
down, I
do
mean,
there?
there was hiking. We went
Oh.
hiking. We hiked two different places. There's a little sand dune type place that is very similar to White Sands, a little dunes area. Um, I mean, they got a little museum of the borax trains when they were hauling that stuff out. The 40 mule train.
What is borax?
Don't ask me that. You'd have to Google it.
Because I have been
I,
very
I keep
in.
I keep going to cleaning supplies, but I don't think that's
No,
accurate.
it is. It is. Because,
It's a
yeah, because I've been Googling non toxic recipes for like household cleaning things. I've
borax is on.
borax is on there, but other people are. I'm on Pinterest looking at this, and people are saying borax is something that you should avoid, but other people will use it. So I have conflicted feelings about borax, but I'll tell you what I'm currently using isn't working. I tried making a concoction yesterday of baking soda, vinegar, cleaning soda. It's like called washing soda, and cast iron soap for like detergent, dishwasher detergent. Mixed it all together. It started getting warm. I was like, oh, it's like a chemical reaction. Like, that's normal. And then I go make dinner, come back to look at the detergent. It's cement. Thing is hard as a rock.
You were going to put that in the dishwasher?
Apparently, bad idea.
Well, did you take it and then put water in it, see if it
I did.
broke down again?
Did nothing. I think I got a long Phillips head screwdriver and I just started ice picking at it and it started breaking off. So I think I'm gonna try and get some of it out so that way I can fill more of the container with water. But the water or the container was made out of plastic, and you know when plastic starts expanding and it gets like those little cracks in it? It has the cracks in it, and I'm like, oh god, this thing's gonna explode. But anyways, borax, the borax trains.
But that's it. Just that, and going to the lowest part of North America at 282 minus. We took Bob out.
Oh,
Bob got his picture taken by the
very
sign.
nice. Very good. What's the highest point in America? Death Valley's the lowest, but what's the highest?
I would think Mount McKinley,
In the
Denali,
contiguous.
contiguous. I would say someplace in Colorado, but I don't know what.
I would say, I think it might be Mount Elbert. I'm gonna Google it. Yeah. Anyways, we didn't receive that photo of Bob.
I believe you did in the extended group chat. Probably.
Okay, Denali, Alaska. Okay, I get it. What about if we said contiguous? Mount.
So which way? How do you which way do you pronounce that?
Con- I, I thought it was contiguous. Contiguous?
Contiguous.
Contiguous? Now I don't know how to say it. I've been saying it.
Well, you Googled it. You can press the define button and it will tell you.
Where's Mount Whitney? Sierra Nevada.
Mount Whitney is the tallest one
in Eastern California. Yes, it is. Interesting. How to pronounce contiguous? I think how I am saying it is right. Okay, can it do the pronunciation?
Contiguous. Contiguous. Contiguous.
Contiguous.
Contiguous. That's what I say. That's not what you said.
Well,
another check mark for the dyslexic one.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
And one of us is wrong, and it's not me.
It's interesting to me. There's a whole description / origin of pronunciation of American words because there's different pronunciations in the UK of how to pronounce certain words and different pronunciations in the US about how to pronounce words.
And Australia.
Yeah, but no one really cares about Australia apparently in the...
Australians do.
What dictionary is that?
There's a whole YouTube channel that they do that. They have all three of them out, and they all pronounce the same word.
Oh, really? Is that on your YouTube Shorts?
Nope.
Oh, that's on your actual.
One of those things I've bumbled across and bumbled away from it quickly.
Interesting. No, it is interesting though. I think it's interesting. Anyways, so. Went around to all those different places. How much money did you spend on diesel?
Well, I guess I can do the math. Well, over $3,000. We got about. Let's see, my math is a little strange here. I'm looking at my forms, and I broke it down by gas station, and it says I did 1,000 gallons, 1,100 almost, and Is that the no? That's the total. And the average fuel price was $3.34.
Hmm.
So that times 1,000 gets you about $3,300 worth of fuel.
That's an impressive amount of fuel. Well,
But if
considering
I do
how
trip,
long you were gone, and if you were to take into consideration needing to buy hotel rooms and gas on top of that, you should really do a breakdown of the two side by side.
I had another thing that I was working on that I redid some things and I got kind of messed up. I was
Doesn't
trying
take
to figure
much.
out how long it would take for me to break even. I got to spend 1,500 nights in the van.
1,500? What are you at? How many years
I
was
don't know.
that?
That's why my math is kind of screwed up. 4.2 if you did it if you slept every night in the van.
Yeah, that's a long time. But hey, if you had it for 10 years,
No, yeah, and we've stayed in places that you can't. There is no hotel,
right? Yeah.
or the hotel is, and I was averaging $125. So
So
I
who's
mean
getting the van in your will? Who has that so far?
it's
Bob.
no Bob. Yeah. Well, everything's going to go to Bob, and then there'll have to be some sort of conservatorship.
Mm,
Conservatorship.
Britney Spears style. I'm gonna
No, you don't.
extort
Not Britney
Bob for
Spears style.
money.
Yeah, I guess that is Britney Spears style, but yeah. If I've done my stuff right, we've been to 32 different states. I guess that really is we've gotten fuel in 32 different states. We've probably driven through a state that we didn't get fuel in, but for the most part, we've been to 25 national parks.
Out of how many? Isn't there like 50?
63.
Oh,
63.
I thought there was 58.
63.
Did you see Donald Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America?
No, I heard he was trying to do all sorts of interesting things.
Anyways.
That and Canada's going to be the 51st state.
Oh, do the provinces know that?
I don't know, but their prime minister just stepped down today,
Trudeau?
resigned.
Wow.
Another one of the Western countries going hard to the right.
Scary. That's very scary, actually.
And you saw the Cybertruck blow up at the Trump hotel.
I did. I did see that. Did you see the guy that was in a truck and ran over a bunch of people in
Yeah.
New Orleans?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
not really sure what is happening in this country.
It's not my fault. It's always somebody else's. Although both of those were in the military, and military's got a pretty tough thing with the depression and whatnot. So, not a good thing.
No.
Although the guy in Las Vegas, he was active duty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he just
I
blew
believe
up.
he was a Green Beret
Oh.
on leave. But yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Yeah. We have no updates on Luigi. Except he has pleaded not guilty.
Yep. Yep.
I wonder if Netflix is going to stream that trial. They're very into streaming things lately. That would be good. That'd probably
They're
be
into
their highest viewership.
they might. Probably not. The wrestling will probably be higher.
Because no one cares about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But alas.
But next on our list, we may go to Florida
For what?
next month. Well, there's a couple. There's
There are national parks.
at
down
least
there.
2, if not 3, national parks down there.
I heard, what is it, Everglades? Evergreen? One of-
Everglades,
Everglades. That's a really, really cool national park.
dry tortugas. You need to look at it. It's kind of cool. It's a fort like I don't know 100 miles off into the Gulf.
Interesting.
And then I think there's a national park on the East Coast in the water. So, and then May we head towards Alaska.
Oh, that soon? Wow. How long are you going to be there?
That's probably a 3 month, 3+ months.
And what are you doing with Bob?
I don't know. We're still debating because there's some things we want to go fly for. I think Bob would be okay. Bob would probably be okay overnight in the van,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, when we went up to Philadelphia this past weekend and left Bob here, and he was very excited to see us when we got back.
That's shocking.
It kind of was. I mean, he wouldn't. He stayed right in the room with us. He was he was with somebody every day.
So maybe he does like being in the van.
Yeah, I guess.
You
We left him
conditioned
at
him.
David's. Well, we left him at David's house. David said he cried the first night. When we left him with you, did he cry or at all?
No.
Just
He's
went
just
right
being
to bed. Huh?
spastic.
Well, same difference, I guess. The spastic or being or crying. He's very upset.
No, he was getting the zoomies, jumping off the walls, attacking the carpet, then came and jumped up on me. Excuse me, sir.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, Rupert. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's people in Alaska that board their cats.
Probably.
So worst
Probably.
comes to worst.
Worst comes to worst. Did I send you the
The
one of
Waffle
the
House
guys that
light.
works? One of the guy at work. Speaking of Alaska, did I send you the aurora borealis lights that he sent me the other day?
You did not. I have not seen that.
They look like the ones that, well, was it your friend took them in Colorado?
Oh, in Wyoming, yeah.
Yeah, Wyoming. These things just look fake.
Did he have a camera or did he use his phone?
His wife took them. I don't know how they went. I don't know how exactly. I don't know if I'm going to send these to you. They're not showing up. And his daughter has a. No, it's not liking that at all. I'll have to send them later.
All right.
My iPad won't do it. They have a Airbnb in North Pole, Alaska, which is just south of
Christmas Town?
no, just south of Fairbanks.
Touristy area.
Back when we went up there and there for the 4th of July and went down to the front desk and asked where the fireworks were going off. And she goes, the Air Force flies a plane over. Oh, yeah. It doesn't get dark here, does it?
No. Yeah.
On summer solstice, I believe, Gina said up at Prudhoe Bay, the sun never sets. It just rings around the horizon.
That's
you
pretty
never
cool.
it never leaves, but yeah, that would be really wild to watch.
That's actually very cool.
Yeah, no, man, I am very much looking forward to this.
Well, I'll be here working
Okay.
away. No
Okay.
PTO.
I'll be spending all your inheritance money.
Great. Great. Speaking of inheritance money, I was looking more into what you said about me either wanting a car or wanting to go to college. What you should have done was set up a 529 plan. Which
I did. We had one.
where to go? Where is it?
It never really I never thought that it did as well because it's one of those managed funds that you can't do anything with. They just take it. The one I did. And it never, I mean, that was my experience. I never thought I got much back out of it. I don't know when I started it. Yeah. And there's a lot of confines to it. Like you can't, you can only use it, and maybe it's changed. You can only use it for that kid. And if he doesn't use it, then you have to do some paperwork to move it to another child. And it was.
Yeah, that's the same. But now if that kid decides not to use it or that they don't want to go to college, you can roll it over into a Roth IRA. Yep. So where is it? Who's it for?
We spent it.
Oh.
It did pay for higher education.
Well, that's upsetting.
Well,
No, I don't know.
But you bought that. I sent you those Vanguard stocks, and you bought them, and they had a fee to them. Why did you buy them?
Because you told me to.
I didn't tell you to. I sent those to you for you to look at.
Whatever. It was like a $10 fee. A
I think
hundred
you're
dollars.
missing a zero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$100.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know how much you put in, but that was probably a decent chunk of what you put in.
No, because they make you buy at least 2,500, which I thought was stupid. But whatever. You live and you learn. If it doesn't perform well, I won't buy more.
Do you have to pay to get it out?
No. From my understanding, no. But I'll let you know when I look to take it out.
I got to call Vanguard tomorrow to do something with my 401k.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what my 401k looks like, considering that the last time I touched my 401k was when I was at my first company.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
where do you have control of it? I mean,
it's
you still
it's
know where it is?
it's in a Fidelity account.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The
It's
plumbing
not
place, that one?
it's not in like if I open up my app currently that it's listed under all of that. I wonder if I can get it moved over.
You need to do that so you don't lose track of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you keep jumping jobs, that's one of the things you need to try to figure out how to keep it up with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's somewhere in Fidelity, so if anything, I'll just call them and tell them that I have this 401k. It exists in an account somewhere.
Do I have one?
Do I? Yeah, that's the last 401k that I had, because didn't make sense at the second company I worked at to invest in it because they didn't match it. So I was like, I'm just going to
True.
invest in whatever I want to invest in.
Yep.
And obviously, the ranch did not have a 401k policy. And then
You got all the horse poop you can carry.
it's true, all the fertilizer you want.
Yeah, that's right.
But oh my god, speaking of fertilizer, I don't know how this showed up on my Instagram, but it was a furry. Do you know what a furry is? Like people that think they're
Yeah.
animals? Okay. Is this person, this furry, I
Well,
guess.
and they dress up as them.
Yes, but this person didn't. This furry didn't. And they were giving you a tour of their in-home litter box that they have their guests use. And it was literally like this tarped off section in front of like their half kitchen where they have like where a stool should be at a counter. And it was like tarped off and it was just filled with like kitty litter. And there were little like stakes in the ground that they marked where someone had gone to the bathroom. And I think that this was a paid experience because she had a tip jar. This person had a tip jar. And then at the end of the video, she talks about
You need to figure out how to change your algorithm.
my friend McLean liked it, and apparently they were like, oh, your friend McLean liked it, you would love this. And then I get it, and I screenshot it, I sent it to him. I'm like, why the hell did you like this? Anyways, and back to fertilizer, she then sold all of the shit as fertilizer. And I was like, this is too much for me.
Just think of the amount of money you could make, the amount you produce.
I don't. That's the thing. That's my New Year's resolution is to figure out why I don't shit normal. Cause something ain't right in there, I'll tell you that. I was on Pinterest again, and I was looking up natural ways to ease constipation or help with the GI tract or your gut biome. And the first thing that comes up was one sure way to relieve constipation. And I was like, can't wait to read this. One sure way. I'm reading through the article and they're talking about like some of the things that I've done, like shoving a finger up there to pull it on out or trying to take a laxative or using an enema. Get to the bottom of an article talking about a coffee enema. Coffee. I don't know if I'm brave enough for that. to be completely honest. So
I thought everybody always says when you drink coffee, it usually
doesn't do it for
stimulates.
me. Doesn't do it for me.
I guess maybe if you try the other end.
Maybe. Yeah, so I'm gonna try. I want to try to talk to a dietitian this year to figure out what is going on in my stomach and my colon potentially and get that resolved because it's 26 years in the making and there's weeks where I'm on and there's weeks where I'm off. So,
I see.
yeah. It's troubling. But yeah, that's one
It's
of my
troubling.
yeah, I created a bingo card of all of my I won't call them resolutions because I think resolution implies that I wasn't good enough already and I don't know how many times I have to tell you that can't fix perfection. All right. So it's just goals. Just goals. And one of them is see a dietitian. It's a bingo card, so it's BINGO. 25 goals. A lot.
Are you going to show it to us? You need to put it in the old thing here.
Okay.
Go ahead. This ought to be entertaining.
All right. So B1
Oh
is
my God! You don't need that. You can give us the highlights, but you need to figure out how to edit that in.
okay, but the top 5 that I'm really worried or not worried. The top 5 that I really want to complete are just the top row. It's ski all 12 months, squat 330 pounds, run my 4th full marathon, get 1,000 downloads on the podcast, and create an LLC and Etsy store.
Well, you got one of them done.
I didn't create an Etsy store yet.
Oh.
I gotta refine the non-toxic dishwasher detergent, and then we'll be up and running on the Etsy front.
Ah.
I bought my sourdough starter on Etsy.
Did you?
I don't know. Apparently, did you know Americans are the only country that uses like cups and tablespoons and pints and all that fun stuff?
Yes. Yes.
How?
In feet, in inches. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I knew that, but I didn't think that cooking was implied in that.
Metrics. Yep.
Didn't realize that was even a part of the metric system. Like 1 cup was just 1 cup. Like there is no conversion. You know what I mean? Like you're not converting 1 cup to anything else because like something.
That's true too.
So I was like really baffled when I'm reading the sourdough recipe and it's like you need to weigh your sourdough and it needs to be 250 grams. I'm like, what sort of drug dealer just has a scale in their house to just measure these lightweight things? Apparently, all other countries besides for America. Who knew?
Yeah, there you go.
God, I've lived a sheltered life. I can't be the only
Horrible.
one that didn't know that. Another thing that I didn't realize, Vaseline is made from petroleum jelly. Petroleum oil.
Yes.
I found a better substitute to Vaseline though. Like there's nothing that works like it.
Beeswax.
Nope, doesn't work the same.
Nope.
I don't know. I just lied. But there's this guy, back to Instagram. He lives on the petrol diet, and he'll go to like restaurants or something, like McDonald's. I shouldn't even call them restaurants because they're not really restaurants. He'll go to like McDonald's or like go and buy a frozen pizza or something, and then show you the ingredient that's petrol, and then tells you like this is what he had today. So like he went to he ate like Trix cereal and he was like red dye number blah 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 and green dye blah blah blah, and then he went and got a Monster energy drink which has like taurine or whatever in it, which is a petroleum runoff. What is that? What is the word that I'm looking for? Not runoff, not additive, whatever. Belongs to
Petroleum product. A petroleum product.
Yeah. Property of petroleum. Yeah, so it's kind of fun.
Product, not a property of.
Anyway.
Cheerios is not a property of petroleum.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's kind of scary. It is really kind of scary how much that stuff is just in the stuff we eat. Really, really scary, actually. And that's why Americans are fat.
It's part of the health. It's, yes, part of
What
the
are
issue.
your New Year's resolutions?
I have none.
Oh, shocker.
That's right. Perfect as it is.
I said the same thing, but I also still had goals, things that I wanted to do. Now that you're aging backwards, you should be becoming more youthful and have more energy to do things.
But we're going to Alaska. We're gonna go hike. Gonna hike, do some hiking, and it's, try to
Nothing
find.
sounds more geriatric than going to Alaska.
Really, Gold Rush
Take a look at the people that travel to Alaska.
in an RV.
Yeah. Anyways,
There'll be some youngins up there.
I'm
You're
sure there
just
will be.
jealous.
I will be jealous because I will be working.
Yeah. With no PTO.
I'll live.
Yes, you will.
You never looked into Stod? I guess you did look into Stod guy.
I did.
Did you look any more after I talked to you?
I did not. He's now on my YouTube Shorts things
Oh,
popping
good.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really interesting. For someone who has such a large digital footprint, you can't find anything about him online. Which I guess there should be some privacy in regards to a human's own life. But, kind of an oxymoron to be so present on social media but so absent.
Have you looked for his image?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Google search didn't find his image, like in a high school yearbook or someplace.
He might have redacted it from everywhere.
That'd be interesting. Maybe. Oh well. We're not getting any comments on our podcast of things we should do, or just you guys should just stop doing it because you're terrible.
Nope, no one said anything to me. So
Nobody gives us negative comments, so we'll just keep going.
one day, the thing that's so annoying is now my Instagram is becoming like an inspirational feeding ground for becoming an influencer, and the information that you get is so contradictory. Like, you have some people like Shad Guy that are saying you need to be producing quality over quantity, and you really just want to be able to like contact what your niche is and have a connection with those people. And then you have other people that are like, just post as much as you can. There's 100 million reels, or there's 100 million TikToks posted every day. You gotta just post and post. I'm like, so which is it? Which is it?
It's. But that was where that Casey got right. He was big to start with, but his following started when he posted every day for 800 days in a row or something.
Yeah.
And every one of his, I mean, a large portion of his videos were very similar.
Yeah.
him on his skateboard going through New York City.
It's true. And running.
And running. And he's been posting again that I've seen, and they're still roughly the same thing.
Apparently people don't like him.
No.
Like, he is not a good human.
He's not a good human?
Yeah.
It's money does that.
I guess.
Money does that. Fame does that.
Yeah. But
everybody's starting to pick at you.
Yeah. We'll know when we get there.
That's right. That's right. I'm sure it's this year.
I am sure of that as well. It's on my bingo card.
I don't know, but I do get comments from people at work occasionally. I was going to call you, but I heard you didn't like talking on the phone on a podcast.
Exposed.
I heard on the podcast that your HVAC went out on the last trip. Yeah.
See, you could get potential sponsors. These people could potentially be This leg of the trip is sponsored by blah blah blah.
I need to have QT. I bought 208 gallons of fuel at QT.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting though, with all the gas stations, they're all starting to do it. If you connect your bank account to them, they will take a lot of money off. Like QT is run their promotion now. They take 25 cents off a gallon.
Does that equate to me getting 2% back on the purchase?
All right. What's 2% of $3.06?
Yeah. Well, okay. Wow. So no.
So that, and then Upside app, you see those, they advertise that. You see them.
What's
You
Upside?
see people on YouTube. You go through their app and you'll get a discount at fuel. Now people on the railroad were doing it because they weren't paying for it, and so it would give you cash back. So they weren't going out of their way. They were using the same gas stations that they would go to normally or along their road, but they would just pick the ones that were, would help them out. Pretty interesting. But even with that, if I'm not getting, no matter where, if I'm not getting more than 6 cents back, then I'm using the credit card.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that they're all starting to do it.
I wonder how long that's going to last for.
25 cents with QT, or them all doing going to the bank?
25 cents, them all going to the bank. Like
the going to the bank's going to go forever because they're cutting out the 2% from MasterCard, which is probably more than that. I mean, you get 2% back. MasterCard and Visa are still making money.
Yeah, they're probably
so it's higher than
6%. That. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cutting. I mean, the amount of money that QT, giving 25 cents back is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it will go down to, but I mean, it's that percentage is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That they pay. There's a lot of places that charge you an extra 3% if you use a credit card.
Dang, I hope that's
like
not
small
what
restaurants.
doing. Yeah, there's a lot of places that did that in Boston, where you got a discount if you paid in cash, but you had to pay extra if you were paying credit card.
Yeah.
Either that or they only accepted cash.
Do they? What if you did a debit card? They still take that charge. They still charge a 3% if you did a debit card.
They didn't. If they only accepted, I don't know.
I've never tried that.
I haven't either. I would assume so.
It is
interesting.
And I guess I haven't figured out. I guess I could do the math. 15. Yeah. I guess it's already figured in there.
Yeah. So you'll reach out to QT with sponsorships. And
what I was really thinking about is, those secret shoppers? You ever heard of those?
No.
Well, a secret shopper there was a guy in Fort Wayne that his family did it. And QT would hire you to go to the QT store and buy something. They pay for what you bought.
Undercover CEO type thing?
Yes.
Undercover bosses?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yep. Exactly like that. And then you reported back. And they would do it at grocery stores. They would get their whole grocery bill paid for.
Dang.
It was kind of interesting. I don't know how you get set up into it, but it would be pretty cool if I could do it for fuel, because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we go to a whole bunch of ones, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you need to just type up a prompt to chat GPT and say, what do I need to say to become like a secret shopper or become an influencer for QT?
That's what I have you for. You're supposed to help me figure all that stuff out.
I'm doing a lot already. I'm editing the podcast. I'm editing the content for social media. I'm recording the content for social. What are you doing?
I'm just here.
Yeah, I know. Good Lord.
The witty banter.
Yeah.
So you need to watch Landman on Paramount.
Is that the one where they are in the petroleum fields in Texas?
Yes.
Why do I need
to watch it? You need to pay really good attention to the father-daughter interactions.
Isn't it funny how in the early 2000s all of the TV shows were about like doctors and lawyers, like Suits, Grey's Anatomy, like all of those types of shows, and now they're all like blue collar work, like Yellowstone, Land, whatever that show you just said. Like, what?
Yellowstone, Landman, Lioness is good.
There's a,
Uh,
firefighter show
but
out now too.
they're all wrote by the same person.
Well, people are watching it, is what I'm saying. Like,
Oh no, I get it. I hear you. I hear you.
but it's also interesting because now pop culture is shifting towards like blue collar, and people are going to trade school. People are wearing more Western wear, which correlation may not be there. That might be a stretch, but it's just interesting. It's interesting to see. I think people know what they're doing, but it's also kind of
We
crazy.
need we need a lot of plumbers. And that heating guy was going to charge me $1,200 to fix a $150 board in
Maybe
30
that's
minutes.
why. Maybe that's what my
There's
LLC should
money
be.
to be had.
There is money to be had. And honestly, plumbing's not really that bad if you do it commercially.
Yeah, as long as you're not in the plumbing coming into the building is a whole lot more interesting than the plumbing going out of the building.
Yes. How do I get into that? That is an interesting. I actually have some experience in the plumbing industry.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Welding.
welding is not something
Yep.
I'm really that keen on.
No, but that's I never did it. But when I hired, I always thought I should learn how to run a backhoe and get two pieces of metal stuck together because I would always be able to feed myself.
Yeah.
And yet, I don't know how to do either.
I know how to weld very poorly.
Well, it's an art, so it's just something you have to work on.
Yeah, there's not really ample opportunities for you to just practice
And
it.
then you can start making.
You can start making
It's the
what?
same thing as how'd you get good at skiing?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I need, well, the thing is like, I know where to go to practice skiing. I don't know
Yeah.
where to go. So I'll just have to type into Chat
Well,
GPT, where can I learn to weld better near me?
well, you can go buy welders aren't that expensive, and you can just go weld and start making shit.
Excuse me, do you want to buy the scrap metals that I just welded together?
Yep.
I'm sure there's a market for it.
There definitely is.
Well, I'll be getting into that. Didn't see that on my bingo card this year, but alas. Might be my new
Oh well,
LLC.
that's right.
So, what are your wins and losses for the week?
Wins and losses. The I did not have many losses this week. I got a lovely
Okay.
new shirt, new sweatshirt.
Yeah,
I did not have to.
how did you get that if you don't work at the company any longer?
I'm still liked.
Oh, shocker.
It is. It is amazingly.
All right.
Uh, the big win is the the brick for the Starlink went out. The wheel sensor on the van went out. The heating went out, and all of that. I made it out of there at about $300. With
Pretty impressive.
I was expecting a lot worse for all of it.
And the loss?
The the well, the loss. The funny part is the when I finally got home and started screwing around with the Starlink, I had it. I forgotten what I did. I could have unplugged it. I didn't need to even go on top. I could have unplugged it and plugged in another power source, and it would. I forgot how I put it together. Being smart when I did it, but stupid because I couldn't remember it. So I guess there was my loss.
Mm.
Uh, what can I say?
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Let's see. What are my wins for this week? My win is that I made it from Steamboat back to Denver during a snowstorm, and then my
In
other
a, in a
last
front
week.
wheel drive Kia.
Yeah. 2016 Kia Forte 2-wheel drive. Impressive horsepower. Yeah, so that was kind of scary, but it was a win because I got back in one piece. And then another win for the week. Yeah, that might just be the biggest win. I don't think I made anything that was that good for food last week that I'm that impressed with. Um, oh, my biggest L for the week. I got my sourdough starter. I started feeding the starter and I decided that I was going to start baking with it. And I found this recipe for sourdough chocolate chip cookies. Now, I prefer to eat cookie dough than to eat cookies.
Yeah.
Not a good idea to eat an alarming amount of sourdough cookie dough raw.
It, is it good?
Yeah, it's good, but I will never do it again. I was on the floor in front of the toilet, staring at my reflection in the water, praying to God to release whatever was in me out. It was terrible. I could feel it fermenting in my stomach. It hurt. I looked in the mirror and I looked pregnant. I was so scared that my stomach was going to rupture, and I had just hit 30 days to be a part of my company before I'm eligible for health insurance. So I don't have health insurance. I was like, if my stomach erupts right now, that's it. I'm going down. That was my biggest L of the week. That was not good. And learn from my lessons. Don't do that. And the thing is, I knew it was bad. And it wasn't like, I'm realizing it's bad and I should stop doing it. I baked the cookie dough, or I made the cookie dough the night before, and I had it the night before, and I went running the next morning, and I was like burping a lot. I was like, that's not right. And then I came home, and I was like, you know what sounds really good? Sourdough cookie dough. Had more. Ate more to settle my stomach. So, yeah,
Yikes.
wasn't a huge win. Was not.
Oh well, you've survived.
Either that or this is a simulation.
We can. I'll send you the video to add pulling the thing out of your nose from the last time you had a giant air ball in your stomach.
Yeah, that's what I just couldn't help but think of that I was gonna have to go do is get that pumped out of me. I can't do it again. It was terrible.
Uh-huh.
But that's all I've got.
All right.
All right.
Stay out of trouble.
Thanks for watching.